What's up, everybody, and welcome to Neek Presents Anime F-Bomb, Episode 7, Your Lie in June. I am one of your hosts, Elijah Senpai Steele, and with me is Ginny Thug Nasty Hubbard.
What's up?
Ginny,
Sorry, I
how
didn't
are
mean
you?
to.
No, that's okay. How are you?
Well, I've mostly had a good day because no one has mentioned Full House yet.
Funny story, I'm on my way to work this morning, and somebody tags me in something on Facebook. And I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. Oh, cool. It's something about Watch Dogs 2, which was just announced yesterday, and I'm excited for it. I'm definitely going to be watching this. So they did a Full House theme video done in Watch Dogs 2.
Why
And
would they do that?
I both hated it and loved it because
What
it
is
was
the
really
purpose?
funny.
That is
I don't know.
blasphemy.
Because San Francisco, that's all I've got.
Ah,
What have you been watching since we last were together?
Alright, so I guess, well, I don't know if you heard or not, but on Tuesday, Psycho Pass the movie shipped out from Amazon if you had pre-ordered it. I ordered it. So
Very nice.
I watched it with my sister because I got her into the show, so now we're both big fans, and that was super exciting. And without giving away any spoilers, I don't consider this giving away spoilers. In the movie, two characters that are very important come back together, and it's magic. It's just magic.
Now, when does the movie take place?
The movie takes place after both of the seasons of the series. The movie is
Okay.
in the sequence of things that exist as of yet, it's the final thing, unless they make another season in the future, which I hope they do, and they should.
Okay. Because I was curious about that because I had heard after both seasons, but then I had also heard that it was in between 1 and 2, and that's why I was really confused. But
Right, I could see how someone would think that, but that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. It's one, two, and then the movie.
okay. All right, that does make sense then.
Yep.
As for me, I have been super busy lately. In fact, I went to a Hatsune Miku concert in New York because it kind of goes along with the theme anime and everything. And it was just incredible. I don't think when they built the Hammerstein Ballroom in 1905, they planned for electronic Japanese raves, but it was just an incredible thing to see. I've been to one concert before of Hatsune Miku, and it was second time was even better. It was magical. But I did have time to watch one anime, or at least finish one, I should say. I finished Your Lie in April, and that show broke me emotionally. I now know what Daniel meant when he said about that. It got me. And two of the big reasons are one, the main character. First off, this show is about a kid who is in middle school. He used to play piano all the time because his mother played piano, and he became this piano prodigy. Well, after his mother died, his mother was very harsh on him, like making him practice all the time. After she died, he stopped playing. At one point, he couldn't hear the notes anymore, and he couldn't play. So fast forward, he's in middle school, and his one of his best friends introduces him to this girl. But the real thing is that the best friend is introducing this girl to their other best friend. She plays violin, and naturally, he falls for her. I can't really go too much further into story without giving away important plot details, but she kind of helps him rekindle his love for playing music. Now, the reason this anime is so important to me is first off, he is in love with the person that is in love with his best friend. That is something I know very well. So I could really connect with the character in that way. But second, and most importantly, when he plays, he gets this feeling of almost being underwater, and that's why he can't hear the notes. And I take that as a big metaphor for depression. Ever since his mother died, his depression, he couldn't play the piano. And as someone who suffers from depression, that really hit home with me. And a big part of the show is his battle with fighting his depression. So that really resonated with me and actually has helped me in my fight against depression. So that show just in so many ways, I recommend it to anybody. It's a music show, but you don't have to like music, like classical music, to be into it. The characters are well done. Everybody in the show is extremely likable, extremely relatable, and I can't say anything without spoiling. It broke me at the end, and
That's
oh
those are the best experiences when you can watch it and it's very similar to what you've gone through, or at least you can make comparisons. It
exactly
means a lot. It's like someone out there understands how you feel, and they created a
exactly
character that understands how you feel. It just means the world.
exactly it it really helps you be more involved in the show. Now, I believe that is everything we've been watching. So it's mail time. First up, Shonen Jump, or I should say, in this year's 20th issue of Shueisha's Weekly Jump, as it is in Japan, they revealed a partial lineup for the new magazine Giga. The lineup features completely new serialized works from authors from Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, as well as serialized works from other authors. They also opened up a website for the magazine that has color visuals for each of the new series. The lineup so far includes Tokyo Seasonal Word Hunting, Blue Archipelago, Sapporo, I can never pronounce that one right, or Sapporo September, I apologize, Verge of Death, Ginata Style, and Sahara of the Flower Samurai. These stories range from fantasy to martial arts to suspense. And the first issue will go on sale on July 20th. Now, I really hope we get these in the States because I can't for the life of me remember exactly what these are about. But when I was reading, they sounded really cool. And I got Shonen Jump for a while, but I kind of jumped in the middle. So it was one of those, I got a couple issues. I'm like, I can't do this. If I could start doing it from the beginning, that would make it a lot easier. And they do have a bit of everything. Fantasy, martial arts, suspense. I remember one of them was horror. It's a really cool idea. And Shonen Jump is known for their good serialized stories.
They did Death Note, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe the creator of Death Note, one of these new stories is his.
Cool.
Next up, we have Astro Boy gets a prequel manga called Adam and an anime adaptation. The Japanese shopping website 7net is currently displaying the cover of this year's July issue of Shogakukan's monthly Heroes magazine, which reveals that the Adam the Beginning manga will receive an anime adaptation. Kashihara launched Adam the Beginning in the magazine in December 2014 as a prequel to Astro Boy. Tezuka's son, Makoto Tezuka, handles the editorial supervision of the manga, and the series is in collaboration with Tezuka Productions. The manga tells the story of what happens up until the birth of Astro Boy, and is considered an Episode 0 story. If you don't really know what Astro Boy is, you could almost say he's the pioneer of anime, especially in the States. I want to say he started in the 60s. Would that sound about right?
I think that's right.
And he was, if I'm not mistaken, that may have been the very first anime aired on television in the United States. So Astro Boy is really important to anime in America, but not just that. It's known as one of the greatest manga and anime in the world. And the fact that this other person created a prequel to the story that, it's a completely different person, but the creator has accepted in and said, yeah, okay, it's part of the story now. That's really cool. We don't see that enough. Because I know I've seen some where it was like, so-and-so thought up a great story that would go before this actual series, but it's not part of the official canon, so, that would have been cool. And this person actually got to make that happen. And now we're getting an anime based on it. Now,
Let me ask. Can
yes.
I ask you a question really quick? That was making me wonder. You remember a few years ago when they made that CGI adaptation of Astro Boy?
Yes, I actually have it on my shelf.
If something is CGI but in an anime style, is it still considered anime?
That is a very good question. My thought is, perfect example, the animated Resident Evil movies. Now, they are animated. Even though they're CGI, they are animated. And they are from Japan. And anime is generally known as short for Japanimation or Japanese animation. So I feel like anime is more of the fact that it originated from Asia and not the exact style. Because if you think of it, there are so many different styles of anime out there.
I agree.
You can look at 20 different shows and they will all have different animation styles. In fact, just looking at Studio Ghibli movies, I have 3 that have completely different animation styles.
In that regard, I think Eastern animation is actually more diverse and artistic than American animation.
I completely agree. 100%.
And I'm like, Disney is my favorite thing in the universe. I love American animation. But I think a lot of the styles of Japanese animation are just very original. And I'm like, wow, I really would like to see Disney or DreamWorks try out something like that.
No, I agree. They've really brought out life from all these different creators' minds because of the way they're done, the way they're drawn, the way they're animated. Everything gives a sense of what the creator envisioned. And that's why I love anime so much, is even just from the way something looks, you can get a sense of what was going on in the creator's head. So I really do think that this CGI Astro Boy movie, I consider that anime.
Yeah, I didn't really have an opinion. I was looking for some thoughts on that because I couldn't decide.
Yeah, that's just mine. But I know a lot of people call them purists that wouldn't think that.
And then there are people on the opposite end of the spectrum that would argue that Teen Titans is anime. So it depends on who you ask.
Exactly. Because one of the most popular arguments is Avatar and Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
Technically,
Avatar.
Not anime, but it's a very stylized animation that makes you think of the Eastern animation styles. So
Avatar is my favorite TV show, and it actually made me interested in anime because everyone said that it was inspired by anime. So that's kind of like a gateway drug.
I think one of the big things is anime has become much more, I should say, less niche in the States as it is now. So you can make that art style and people don't think of as much of it. But Avatar is the perfect kind of show to really get a sense of, oh, you like anime? Watch this. Oh, what? It's a Western cartoon? And kind of branches into that. Or people who just watch Western cartoons, like watch Nickelodeon, watch
that was me.
Avatar, and be like, oh, there are other shows like this? I should check them out.
That was totally me.
So that's what I think. The line is a lot more blurry than it used to be.
I think it's a good thing.
Oh, I completely agree. It will bring in people who like one style or genre and completely diversify them on both ends of the spectrum.
Agreed.
Now, what is probably my favorite news article of the week. Entertainment news source The Hollywood Reporter revealed on Wednesday that Paramount Pictures and DreamWorks Pictures' upcoming live-action Ghost in the Shell film has added Rila Fukushima to the cast for an as-yet unnamed role. Fukushima played the role of Yukio in the 2013 film The Wolverine, and also plays the character Katana in the CW television series Arrow. She also appeared in taiga drama Gunshi Kinbei, and also appeared in HBO's Game of Thrones. Ghost in the Shell film is planned for an American release on March 31st, 2017. Now, I thought she was fantastic in Arrow. I loved her in Arrow. I don't remember who she was in Game of Thrones, unless
I don't either. Right after you said that, I was just like, who did she play? Like, this is going to drive me crazy now.
Yeah, I'm about to enter season 4, so maybe she just hasn't come into the show yet?
Well, I think it's safe to say I don't think she's a major character because
You would
I know.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, and if she was one of like the leads in any of the seasons, I would remember. So she must have been a minor character.
Exactly. But I thought she was really good, and I think it's awesome she's going to be in Ghost in the Shell, which, contrary to popular belief, I think looks pretty cool. One thing people are all upset about is, oh, they're casting Americans in this and such, and we'll get to the other news right afterwards, which, you know what? I think I'll save that. I'll save it for the next story. Do you have anything else you want to say about Ghost in the Shell?
Yes, I just wanted to say one thing. I think that she is an excellent pick for an actress in a movie. The one thing I would change is if it were up to me, which obviously it isn't, or I wouldn't be sitting in this house in Tennessee. If it were up to me, I would have put her in the lead and given the supporting role to Scarlett, because I think she looks more like the animated character, but I mean, that's the debate, isn't it? That's what everyone's arguing about. So that's just my take on it.
And
I would have switched their roles.
One important thing is this is an American-made movie. Who will bring people to theaters? Fukushima or Scarlett Johansson?
Exactly, and that's why it is the way it is.
But
I
have kind of something else to go along with that, and I will talk about it in the next article because it's very important there, too.
All right.
Fumihiko Sori, the director of the live-action adaptation of the Full Metal Alchemist manga, revealed more details about the film to the entertainment website Oricon on Saturday. Sori revealed that the film will not be in 2 parts, as in past live-action adaptations such as Rurouni Kenshin or Attack on Titan, but will instead be told in one complete film. Additionally, Ed's age will be 20 in the film, where he was originally 15 in the manga. He told Oricon he has a deep affection for the story that tells the truth of living, and said, "It is my dearest wish to turn this wonderful story into a film, and it is not an exaggeration to say that I am living for this reason." He added that he wants to create a wonderful film that will use techniques to challenge Hollywood, and noted that nowadays Japanese filmmaking techniques have progressed greatly. He also said that up until now, he has used CG in places you wouldn't notice it, and for this film, he plans to use the type of CG that he wants the audience to see. He also is planning to use both types of CG in great quantities. Now, one thing we don't have here, and we haven't talked about yet, but the entire cast is Japanese. Which brings, okay, we cast Scarlett Johansson into a character that's Japanese. Well, now we have Full Metal Alchemist, which takes place in Italy. Almost everybody is named as a German name, and we have an entirely Japanese cast. Nobody bats an eye. That's one of the things that's getting to me. It's awesome, but again, it is a Japanese movie. It makes sense they will cast Japanese people as the characters.
Right. If anything, you could argue that, and this is a total chance, because Ghost in the Shell, of course, in America is going to be marketed insanely with TV ads and billboards because it's an American-made movie and they're banking on the American audience.
Exactly.
Now, if Full Metal Alchemist became a big hit in America, that would be great, and that would prove that Japanese people can lead an American movie. But the problem is that because that movie's being made in Japan with Japanese actors, the marketing in America will probably be very minimal, which will affect how many people go to see it. Because it's a very cool story, and when people say they want more different things to see, more original ideas, I think this is exactly what they mean, but nobody's going to know it's out there because it's foreign, so it's going to have limited exposure with the main audience, the general audience, and that's going to hurt its ticket sales statewide because they're shooting for Japan.
Exactly. And that's why it just gets to me. People are like, oh, casting Scarlett Johansson as a Japanese character. Well, they just cast a whole bunch of Japanese people as like people that live in Italy and all have names like Edward, and I'm trying to remember what's their last name.
Elric.
Elric. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just people don't
I'm
bat an eye at that, but this Scarlett Johansson thing is going crazy.
I'm just torn. I can see both sides of the argument, and it's like you said, they cast all those Japanese actors because it's in Japan, and you
Yeah.
could make the same argument about Scarlett Johansson. This is America, and most of our big name actors are white or black, not Japanese. So,
Exactly. And it's nothing against the Japanese actors and actresses we have over here. It's just that they aren't as well known.
yeah,
As meanwhile over there, if you
it's
put
the opposite.
exactly, if you put Scarlett Johansson as the lead role in a movie over there, they might not exactly she won't have the same pull. So I can understand someone not liking that, but if they were to say they like that the entire cast is Japanese for Full Metal Alchemist, that's kind of going against the grain. So, like I said, I can understand it. It's just there's too many people against one and agreeing with the other. When you're either against both or agreeing with both, because it's the same idea.
It's the issue of demographics because the argument is that all the good roles go to white people. But then, if you're going to compare it to other countries, it becomes very biased and difficult to compare data because different countries have different demographics. Most people in Japan are not white. So saying, well, they made a movie starring all Asians, it's not a fair comparison because most people in Japan are Asian. But
Exactly.
most people in America are white.
Exactly.
Is that good? Is it fair? I mean, it's neither. It's none of that because it's just how it is. And should they give more lead roles to Japanese people and other Asians? Absolutely.
Mhm.
But it's frustrating how people take out an industry-wide problem on one movie.
Yep.
And it's not just race, it's the same way with gender and the way relationships are portrayed. All of it is really screwed up industry-wide. But oftentimes one movie will come out and everybody pins all of this on the movie. I mean, it's really just Hollywood. It's not that there's this one person making this one movie that's just out to get Asian people or women or whatever group you're talking about.
That's exactly right. Now, all that being said, this looks awesome. I'm excited. I want to see this.
I would like to see both movies. I think they'll both
Exactly.
be good for different reasons.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Full Metal Alchemist sounds awesome. I'm excited. I want to see it. But I just have a problem with people taking
It's the
their reactions
reaction,
out.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's the reactions of the audience.
But the way this sounds cool, I can understand changing the age just because 15 is younger, and in anime that isn't as big a deal.
And if it's going to be like super violent, then
Yeah.
it would be hard to accept that this is all happening to a young child.
Yeah. And the CGI I can completely understand because with the transmutations and everything, there's a lot of that you can't have a giant lightning transmutation circle done without CGI. So it makes perfect sense. In fact, I want to give a quick shout out to Loot Anime, which I get every month, who normally I get a little something cool in the box. This last month, I got a transmutation circle doormat.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. Now I just need a door to put it in front of. But it's really awesome. I recommend to everybody Loot Anime. It's incredible. It's well worth it. Now, for the last news article, we have something a little more fun. It's been 30 years since the first Dragon Quest introduced role-playing gameplay to the Famicom and Nintendo, and Square Enix is determined to honor the occasion. On May 27th, it offered fans a Junmai Diginjoshu, the highest quality of sake, from Fukumitsuya to celebrate. The sake, called and roughly translated to "and then towards legend," is brewed from 100% Yamada Nishiki rice and is in a bottle-colored blue like the armor of Dragon Quest III's protagonist. It also comes in a set with a Masu, which is a wooden drinking box, with naturally a slime logo. Its alcohol content is 17%, and the bottle holds 24.3 ounces. The sake itself costs $43.70, while the set will set you back $51. I think this is cool when they do a little something like that to celebrate. This is 30 years that this has been around. And it's not like it's an anime where you can watch it on all these different formats. You know, the first Dragon Quest is available on the Nintendo and Famicom. That's it. So the fact that it has maintained life this long is incredible. But also the fact that they're making these special things to toast this occasion for it. And I've never had sake. I want to try it really bad. And I think I might splurge the $51 to pick this up. But I just want to end it on a little fun note, because I can't think of anything more fun than toasting a drink to 30 years of success.
And after all these arguments about race, let's all just talk about some alcohol for a minute.
Yeah. I don't even drink.
I've had wine one time, pretty recently actually. I thought it tasted really bad, and it tasted, you know how if you get rubbing alcohol near your face, you're just like, ugh, that's
Yes.
what it tasted like, that feeling to me. So I was just like, you know what, I don't think I like wine.
My dear, I think you had some bad wine.
Maybe so. Ugh.
So next up, we have our otaku topic of the show, which is, what are 2 anime that, if you could, you would watch again for the very first time? Jenny, let's start with you.
All right. I would go definitely with Psycho-Pass because it's one of my favorite shows. And all the characters are just fantastic. And I remember the first time I watched it, I was watching it on Netflix, and I was very taken and surprised by how complex the characters were and all the character interactions. And even the plot and the dialogue is just very introspective, and I was just very impressed, and I would love to do that again for the first time. And then I wish I could go back and watch Cowboy Bebop and watch all the episodes closer together than I did, because I watched it over a very large span of time, and I think that affected, you know what I'm saying? I wish I would have binge watched it, because I just feel like it would have affected my perception. Like the ending, I feel like it would have impacted me differently if I had binged it that first time.
I can completely understand that. And in fact, you just reminded me that my friend has my Blu-ray of Cowboy Bebop, so I need to get that back from him.
Oh, he cannot keep that.
I want to rewatch it again now. No, they are, like, Psycho-Pass is on my list. I really want to watch it. I don't have as much time right now, but it is high up on my list. It actually might be one of the next ones I start. I want to watch that and Tokyo Ghoul.
I hardly have any free time right now. And I wish that we were like next door neighbors or something, because I would just loan you my discs. Because for me, it's a lot easier to get excited about watching something if I have a physical copy as opposed to watching it on Netflix.
I completely agree.
I wish I could just like give you my Blu-rays for a few days and be like, go binge watch these, but
hopefully I like Psycho-Pass and Tokyo Ghoul more than Attack on Titan. Anyhow.
Oh God, I hope you love Psycho-Pass. It's so good.
But no, it is on my list. I really, really want to watch it. And like you said, Cowboy Bebop is such an amazing show. There's a reason it is a classic anime, and it's one that they say, if you love anime or if you're just getting started, Cowboy Bebop is the one to watch.
It's very understanding of Western culture.
Yes, it is. In fact, every episode is named after a rock song, a U.S. rock song.
Or some of them are named after songs from the UK, like Bohemian Rhapsody.
What? We'll just say classic rock. Like, all of them are based on classic rock songs, and that's awesome. It is a show of the world.
It's also sort of like a space western. It reminds me a little bit like
Say it.
Star Wars.
No, it's not what I thought you were going to go with.
Oh, you thought I was gonna say Firefly, didn't you?
Yes.
Also Firefly. You could say either one of those, or even like to cite something more recent, Guardians of the Galaxy sort of has a
Yeah.
similar feel.
Yeah, you're right.
And I say all of those with love. Those are all things that I enjoy.
No, Cowboy Bebop is a great show. It just barely didn't make my two. Barely. That show is just incredible. Now, as for mine, I'm going to go with my not as important one first. First up, I have Love Hina, which is an anime about. And I know I've actually talked about both of these on the show before.
Same.
The main character can't make it into Tokyo University, even though that's his dream. So he goes to live with his grandmother and finds out that the apartment has now become an all-girls dormitory. Well, his grandmother leaves him the dormitory to manage. It's your classic harem anime, but all of the characters are so likable that it's hard not to feel a thing for every one of them. And especially the main character, because he's trying his hardest, and everything goes wrong for him, and I can relate to that one. But it's just, when I first saw this, it really hit something in me that was one of the first anime that really got me into anime. Now, the second show is like Your Lie in April. It's a very important anime for me because it gave me a lot of perception changes in how I feel, and that is Steins Gate. Steins Gate is one of the most incredible, not just animes, but shows in general I've ever seen. It is another one of those shows that's easy for anybody to get into because though it deals with time travel, it does it in, it's a sci-fi show grounded in reality. Is the best way to put it. Where as it's going, it doesn't feel like it's out of this world, but it kind of is. But in a good way. It's a little slow to get started, but once you hit a certain episode, it just, you can't stop. And as soon as I was done watching it, I didn't know if I liked it, but I actually felt better for having watched it. And it was shortly after that when I'm like, I want to watch that again. And I realized how much that show meant to me. And that's one, again, I will recommend to anybody. Give it a shot. Normally I do the 3-episode rule. If I don't like it in 3 episodes, I'll be like, all right, I'm done. It's a little slow. So you just have to get, I'd say like 8 episodes into it. But like I said, it ramps up to the point where you don't want to stop. It's 25 episodes and an OVA. And it just thinking about it now, I'm having trouble talking because so many moments in the show are flooding through my head, and just important moments that are the show is very character driven, and that's a very important thing for me, because if you don't like the characters, then what's the point in watching the show? That's my take.
See, your feelings on this show are what you're saying is reminding me of how I feel about Psycho-Pass. It's just like that. Like I was telling my friend I want him to watch this show, and he was like, okay, describe it to me. And we were talking over Facebook, so he wouldn't have known. But I started getting weirdly emotional because the show is just very emotional for me. And I was like, you just need to watch it, okay? Don't ask me to explain this. You have to see it. I need you to watch it and cry and love it, okay?
Yeah, Steins Gate is the same way. And I think we have come up to the point now where both the 2 shows we each named are very important to us, and that's why we would love to relive them for the first time. Like I said, Love Hina was one of the reasons I got into anime, and Steins Gate actually partially changed my perspective on life. So I'd say that honors a nomination in there.
I definitely want to see Steins Gate then if that's going on my list.
Oh, it's so good. And actually, you know what I'll do? tomorrow I'm going to start Psycho-Pass.
Good. Where can I find Steins Gate? Where could I see it?
I will give you my Funimation info, and you can watch it on there.
Okay. I will keep you updated on how I'm liking it.
All right. I do believe that is everything for this episode. Jenny, do you have any final words and or shout-outs?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I'm good. I don't know what...
All right. The only thing I have to say is yay anime. If you don't know what that's from, you should go check out. And I'm not normally one to do this, but the IGN Anime Club podcast, they're great to listen to also. I'm friends with Megan Sullivan on there. She's a great person, and she has helped me get into a bunch of anime. So I'm going to give a shout out to her. And you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to her, Megan, Kelly, and Mike from that show, because they're all great people, and they have helped rekindle my love of anime within the past year. So if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have been interested in doing this. Well, to everybody, with love from us, thanks for watching as we dropped the anime F-bomb. And
Keep
bye,
it
guys.
otaku.